Good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the Philippines. Yeah. I only have a short message for the two of you, and also for the others who are married, who have chosen marriage as their vocation. And when we say vocation, it's actually for a lifetime. No day off. No? It's a lifetime career. Like a career that you have chosen, although it's on another side, the job that you are doing. For the lifetime vocation like marriage, like being a father and a mother or husband and wife, it is a vocation that we did not create. It was there to be decided. God gave us the freedom if you want to remain single or married. He did not command that to each human being. No. Because even Jesus says in chapter 7, he said, not all human beings can accept this word. What word? The word about marriage. Because he left us to decide on it, but the moment you decide on it, then you will be subject to God's standards, to God's principles, because He is the one who created marriage, right? It's another or someone else's product, and when it's someone else's product, you have no say about it. You have no right to oppose or give conditions if you did not create the product. It was always the author of the product who will. You are compulsory to comply. No? It's compulsory for you to comply if you are using another man's product. So if you decided to get married, then it's only compulsory on your side, on your part, to follow the design of the product, so you can enjoy, or it will lengthen the use of that product. For example, you are also a product of God. She is also a product of God. So if you decide to get married, you are using one of His products. Okay? You're actually using one of His products because you want to benefit from that product. Okay? And it was already studied hundreds of years ago that marriage is beneficial to both people who decided to get married. But there's a condition if you are doing it right. If you are using the product according to the design of the author. So when the author says, husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh to them. There are two commandments there, love and do not be harsh. So it's not subject to your stipulations or terms and conditions. You cannot tell God, how can I love her if she's not respecting me? You're not entitled to that condition anymore. You're just obliged to comply with it. Okay? And when we say love your wife, it's a verb word. You have to do something, not just sign the document. The document only represents the legal obligations to it. No? Because in God's eyes, whether you sign the contract or not, you are under His authority. Okay? That's why wedding was invented by man to make sure that you will face the legal consequences attached to it. Okay? So, love your wife, Chris. That's it. That's a commandment. When you deal with God, you're not entitled to your rights to oppose or give conditions to it. Your rights to speak came from the Greek people. Huh? Okay? But when you deal with God, remember, you're not entitled to your right to speak or oppose or give conditions to God's word. Okay? We are under obligation to please Him. Because everything He says has an attached benefit. So if you don't follow, you will not enjoy the benefits attached to it. But the punishments attached to it also if you fail to comply. Okay? The next instruction was do not be harsh. Scientifically speaking, the woman was found to be emotional, designed to be emotional. So harsh words, they don't deserve to hear harsh words. Okay? In positive psychology, just positive words to say to each other. And you will grow, both of you will grow all together happy and in prosperously. And so let us study. So in order for you not to be harsh to your wife, you have to convert the words, even though you say it's true, kahit sabihin mong totoo naman, she's not entitled to that. But only positive words or words of encouragement from the husband. And they love to hear the husband to be full of sense of humor. You need to develop your sense of humor. Because gusto nila lagi sila pinapatawa. Huh? Chris? So, they don't deserve to get harsh words from you as a husband. On the other hand, God said to the woman, you will experience 4 things when you get married. First is, I will increase your pain in childbirth. Genesis 3:17. Second, in pain you will bring forth children. So that's really true. It's happening. Third, your desire will always be for your husband. Your desire will always be for your husband. Which means everything that you will do, you will suddenly feel an urge all the time for the benefit, everything that you will do will be for the benefit of your husband. And she will always look for you all the time. Okay, Chris? Make sure that she knows wherever you are. Okay? Don't leave her hanging, guessing your location. Okay? Because it's God's design in a woman's body. Okay? You definitely felt that already since the time that you declared your engagement. Right? And the fourth one, God told the woman, He will rule over you. If you haven't read that, check Genesis 3:19. It's there. Okay? It's 17 to 19. So, you cannot bring equality in the home. You cannot. You will always clash. That's why God had to make sure that this male and female, since they were both created with the same power, authority to have dominion over the fish of the air, the fowls of the air, the fish of the sea, etc. Both have given the dominion power, but they were still single at that time. Okay? So when they chose to be married, God has to fix this organizational setup between the two of you. He will rule over you. And here's the catch. If you don't take the lead, if you cannot decide all the time, she can take over. And you will never like it. The moment she took over your position, you will never like it. And don't ever decide without his approval. Shelby? Because in the Garden of Eden, when the woman was convinced by the snake to touch the forbidden fruit, the result was they were cast out of the garden. They were cast out. In Tagalog, which I will ask you to research this later, Shelby, magkakawindang-windang ang buhay nyo kapag inunahan mo siyang magdesisyon. Can you translate that for me? Yeah, that will be the result. That's serious business. Don't decide without his consent. Because that's what happened in the garden. When the woman decided to pick the fruit, when the husband is just beside her, what happened after? They were cast out of the garden. They were left on their own. The sin is actually the word death, which means death, actually means disconnection from God. That's why God put a cherubim on the gate of the Garden of Eden, so that the two of them will not be able to come back inside. So after that, there's an open field for the two of them to decide. Would they be reconnected to God? It's your choice. Okay? So live under the guidance of God. Okay? And there's another instructions by Apostle Paul. Wives, submit, or respect and submit yourselves to your husband. And that's also the beginning commandments of God when He said He will rule over you. Submission means submission to His vision, to His goal, to His dreams. Okay? And not submitting to what He says all the time. No. There's bigger meaning than that. Whatever His goal is, submit your own goal to His goal. Because you cannot create two visions or goals in the house. Why? Because two means D. And when you have two separate visions, you will have division in the home. Because you will spend more talking to people who can help you reach your goals the same as you. You will spend more time talking to people who will help you reach your goal. And that's why most marriages fall apart. Why? Because they still have their unfinished business before they entered marriage. And when they are already inside the marriage, they are fulfilling their respective visions. They are fulfilling their unfinished business. The Bible offers a system for our lives to make it better. He said, be fruitful. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, be fruitful. But first, God blessed them. Which means you both have the tools to be fruitful. You just have to know how to become fruitful. Okay? So when you get married and you have unfinished business, you have to put that one together. Okay? Which means if he is planning to put up a restaurant business later, you should be involved there. Okay? You can be the counting the profits of the business. You should get involved there. Because Albert Einstein said, marriage is a risk. Which means it can shorten your life. No? Your spouse can stress you. And that sleeping illness that you inherited from your family members 4 generations backwards can be awakened only by getting stressed. Okay? So Einstein said, you will only enjoy the journey together if you have one spirit. One spirit. And if you connect that to what Jesus said, you will leave your father and mother and cling into his wife. For what purpose? To be one flesh. Because one flesh requires only one spirit. Okay? Very simple. That's why when Jesus was asked by the Pharisees, why then Moses allowed these people to get divorced? And Jesus gave just one answer. Because of the hardness of their hearts. Why? They don't want to become one. And so the key for you to enjoy your partnership is to become one. Decide as one body with one spirit. Very simple. Okay? Don't forget that. And you will do that for the rest of your life. So congratulations to the both of you. Thank you.
We will now proceed to the marriage rites. May we request for the parents, principal sponsors to stand to act as witnesses of the wedding ceremony. May we ask the candle sponsors to please light the candles.
oath.